Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Naha podcast. Today we have Shanti Dechen, a Beyond Aromatics 2023 speaker. Thank you for being here today, Shanti.
Thank you, Ty, and I really appreciate this opportunity with Naha to be able to share my love and inspiration of aromatherapy.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you. So I just wanted to get started by asking you, where did you get your start as an aromatherapist?
Well, I really think it started as a child because my mother had this amazing rose garden just outside the porch, and I
Hmm.
loved inhaling that. But I really didn't get introduced to actual essential oils until like 1987. And it was at a perfumer who was Persian in Woodstock, New York. And I went in
Oh,
there
wow.
and I was completely enamored by all these incredible aromas. But, it really didn't fully come into this country until like 1994 is when I really got into it. And probably in the first few weeks, I probably ordered 200 oils right off the bat. I was just, this is something I want to do. And I was a massage therapist for like 7 years previous to that and
Hmm.
felt like it would be an amazing adjunct to my massage clients. And then in 1998 to 2001, I actually went to Canada. I'm from Colorado, but I went to Canada to get standard advanced teachers training and teachers internship because I was so inspired by it. I was like, everybody needs to know this.
Hmm. So from an early age, you realized the power of plants, smells, aromas, and botanicals. But there wasn't much of a scene for it in the United States. But as things progressed, you retained that interest and ended up going to Canada for schooling. When was that?
Yes. 1998 to 2001.
Oh.
And that's just when there was just maybe a couple schools with Naha. There was not that many.
Hmm.
And I was so inspired when I came back that I started writing my own course materials in 2002 and launched my aromatherapy school because particularly for massage therapists and anybody who works on a clinical basis needed to know this information.
Hmm. It was completely unintegrated in the United States at that point.
Well, it wasn't so prevalent as it is now. Let's just
Yeah,
say that. Yeah.
yeah. So how did you become involved with Naha after your training?
So that once I came back and I was an aromatherapist from Canada, I became a member of NAHA. And then in 2002, my school, Aroma Apothecary Healing Arts Academy, became approved. So that's how it all emerged for me.
So you got your training and decided to open up your own school, and then it became a NAHA approved school, and that was the beginning of your relationship with NAHA.
Yes, and that is 21 years ago.
Oh, wow.
I know.
That's amazing. And that goes to show, the length at which NAHA and aromatherapists like you have been working together in this industry,
Yes.
and that's
Yeah.
awesome. So my next question, I just want to ask you, what is your favorite essential oil or oils and why?
So this really depends on the day, the intention, whether it is the uses or on a chemical basis, and the application. So the essential oils obviously are different if you use it in a nasal inhaler as compared to a topical blend, where you have to be a lot more aware of the precautions. So I do have a few. Um, Particularly lately, blood orange, citrus sinensis. And somehow
Mhm.
I really love using orange in the wintertime. And, whether it's sweet orange, which is also citrus synthesis, or the blood orange, which is a little sweeter to me. Um, it works so well on increasing circulation. It balances the digestion. To me, it's like the happy oil. Like if you look at an actual orange, it looks like the happy phase. And that's why I like it. It also
Yeah.
reduces muscular tension, respiratory complaints, restores dry skin. It has amazing uses. Um, and then also, I just have a few more, but lavender, and it should probably be on everyone's list. One of the main things is that it has such a variety of uses. Lavandula angustifolia, and it's one of my favorites for skin issues, especially any little cuts, rashes, things like that. Reduces inflammation. And it's pretty much generally non toxic and non irritating. And what I'm finding over and over again is that there's really only a handful of essential oils that do not have precautions. And that is the biggest thing over the last 21 years that I've had to honestly, you know, continue to educate myself about, especially when you're doing like case studies, to make sure that there are precautions that would be for that particular person. Now, one of my
Hmm.
other favorite things is to do perfumery and colognes. I have always loved that. And one oil is Fir Balsam Absolute, which is Abies balsamea.
Hmm.
Now, for perfumery, I have found that the absolute oils, like Rose Absolute, is fantastic, the Rosa Damascena. But also, those in a topical blend have a lot of different uses. So, if I depending on what I need, like the citrus, again, that orange is the happy oil. The flowers to me are heart opening. The trees help to ground, and the seeds are really great for like digestive issues. Like if you look at the spices that we put on food, a lot of them come from seeds, like black pepper. And so it's really interesting to be able to take that as like a plant ally. Okay, what is it doing in nature? And how can I use it to be able to even restore my own body mind balancing? So that's kind of what I look at with the intention. How can I balance myself? Or if I'm working with a client, how can I do that for them?
Hmm. Yeah. And I totally agree. There's something about citrus oils that is so important for the winter, just the way it lights up the room. And
Mm.
I think the harsh winter months really need that. And maybe internationally, people are experiencing different seasons, but you're in Colorado and the NAHA office is in Idaho in the United States, and it's been a harsh winter this year, and the citrus oils are certainly good for a time like this. And then lavender is one of the ultimate oils. It's just so good.
Yes, it
So
is.
good. And I like your note about specific uses and how the fir oil is so good for colognes or perfumery and how you just approach your needs of the day with what oils you may need and that kind of influences your current favorite oil.
That's correct. So it could change any moment.
It goes to show the nuances and depth of aromatherapy. So thank you.
And I think that's the big aha about it is that, I've studied herbology, flower essences, all of this, but it's the aromatherapy that has, so many different applications that it is inspiring.
Hmm. Okay, yeah. And with that, I just want to ask, what is something new that you learned within aromatherapy recently? Since it's a nuanced topic and field, and there's always some new research to dive into.
Well, unfortunately, I think it's called the Amrid Institute and by Kelly Allred. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing her name correctly,
Mhm.
but what I learned new is different plants that have sustainability or endangered, they're on an endangered list now. And that's always really sad to me. But it is encouraging to me to be able to plant more in our botanical garden about what I'm going to use, whether it's
Hmm.
hydrosols or in an infused oil that I can use in the topical blends. The other thing I learned was like an inspiration that you have the choice and the ability to change your state of mind and body at any given moment.
Hmm. Oh, that's very interesting.
And aromatherapy is key to that for me.
Right. I really like that you mentioned Kelly Ablard. She's another conference speaker for 2023, and I think it's so important that NAHA and aromatherapists pay attention to sustainability issues. It if we all love and appreciate aromatherapy and plants and the good that they do, we have to preserve it. And like you said, I think that it's important to look into what you can do and what you can do in your own garden. And we have another speaker, Amanda Plunkett, and she deals a lot with the bees of North America and how we can create sustainable environments for plants and bees. And I think all of that is very important new things for aromatherapists to learn. So that's awesome.
Absolutely. And, maybe that's why I like using the nasal inhalers rather than diffusing most of the time, because you need less drops. And if we're all kind of aware of really how much we're using, it's going to last a lot longer. And that sustainability issue is really important. So thank you for your awareness and also being able to have that speaker for the next conference.
Hmm. Yeah, you're totally right. A single drop of essential oils is comprised of countless plants, and we should be mindful when we use a drop.
Yes, I always love that it takes 30 roses for one drop of essential oil.
And rose oil is gorgeous. It's amazing. But
Yeah.
yeah, we should be careful with not wasting rose oil.
But in that level of deep appreciation.
Yes, absolutely. So your topic is enhancing your clinical aromatherapy observation skills. And I just wanted to ask you, why are you passionate about your Beyond Aromatics 23 topic? And why is this the one you chose to present to NAHA members this year?
Part of it is being able to share my decades, which is over 40 years now, in a clinical practice, to really share that knowledge that's beyond the health history pages. But really to look at a deeper level of that clinical observation. What do you see in someone's face? How do you hear their voice? Like if someone's talking like this, and they don't have much energy, they're sad, really being able to, when you choose the essential oils, how do you connect those with plant allies to be able to help to balance someone? And this deeper level can reveal the source of the current challenges that a client is experiencing. Again, beyond the page, what's really happening here?
Mhm.
And obviously I've done that over and over again with clients, being able to go at a deeper level. And really, it's like undoing the knots that are creating maybe all of these different physical issues or emotional anxiety. What's really happening here? And sometimes it's not on a conscious memory level, but it's like, how do you dig deeper to really pinpoint this? So
Hmm.
that's kind of, I love investigating. And I'm an anatomy and physiology geek in some ways because I look at things. What's really taking place here? And I can stand from a place as a practitioner. Um, you're welcome to edit this if you want, but I'm turning 65 next month, and I have been using botanical medicine uh, fully since I was 18 years old. I'm not on medications. I've never been in the hospital. I had my child in a home birth. So I guess somehow at 65, I can just go, yay, I know this stuff.
Yeah.
Again, you can edit this if you want, but I just wanted to share that. And I feel like that I've been able to help others to dig deeper because I have dug really deep in my own life. It's not that I haven't had challenges or traumas, all of that. Um, and I think one interesting point, again, you can edit if you want, is that my mother died when I was 14. She died in a gallbladder operation,
Hmm.
and the earth became my mother,
Hmm.
and that changed my life.
Wow.
So
So, so your topic again is enhancing your clinical aromatherapy observation skills. And so you're bringing decades worth of aromatherapy experience, like we talked about earlier. You were on the forefront of aromatherapy introduction into North America years ago, and you're bringing your years of experience to this presentation to help people understand some observational notes with their clients to help them do better work as an aromatherapist because they can understand some of the underlying things that maybe wouldn't be as obvious otherwise.
yes, to really help them feel more confident as professionals in, you know, getting the results for their clients. That's the main intention. How can we get results? How can we heighten that so that, I used to have this kind of affirmation with my clients, may I help them to experience a better daily life?
Hmm,
Just simple. But what's that going to take for them to understand that?
right. So knowing what signs to look for and then having the knowledge of essential oils and plants to come up with something that can be therapeutic for your client.
Absolutely. And enjoyable for them. And the
Yes.
great thing is, once you come up with a one case study blend, you can use it in a variety of applications, right? Topical blend with different carrier oils, a nasal inhaler, a Dead Sea salt scrub to reduce inflammation. There's so many different varieties, but you could take one blend and use it in different applications.
Yeah, that's perfect. Well, Shanti, I want to thank you for being here with us today at the Naha podcast. I want to thank you for being a speaker for 2023. That's on in October, and we're so excited to see you and everyone else in Salt Lake City this year.
Thank you so much, Ty. And I'm really looking forward to being with a fellow aromatherapist again in person. I'm really looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's going to be amazing. And all of the presentations will eventually be available digitally for everybody who buys a ticket. But we're also very excited to have an in-person element again so that aromatherapists can connect and collaborate.